Yeah, obviously the loss of Natalie Spooner it's a difficult one, but I wouldn't necessarily blame our start on not having Natalie in the lineup. I thought we just came out a little bit hard to describe, right? Like a little hesitant, a little bit nervous. I think and it doesn't come from a bad place. It's a lot of times it's wanting it so bad that you're trying to force some plays. I think both teams kind of came out that way. There's a lot of plays forced to the middle of the ice and a lot of turnovers as a result of those plays. So, I think our team has had enough time to digest the Spooner situation, and she's been with us and has chatted with us about it. So, I don't necessarily I wouldn't blame our start on the absence of Natalie Spooner. I don't think one injury makes a whole team play the way we started. But I do think we got our feet under us as that game went on. Obviously, juggled some lines, tried to shake things up a little bit, and played a much more playoff-like game after that. Wow, that's a big question. I think as any time in any profession you're in, obviously you're constantly learning, constantly evolving. I think it's important for me as a coach to continue to grow patience and understanding of where people are potentially at, either in their career or in their day, and meeting them where they're at. So it's not, I wouldn't say it's something I've learned, but it's something I'm continuing to learn and continuing to grow is trying to get a better understanding of where people at, what they may be feeling, and trying to make adjustments where I can best serve them. Yeah, I mean, you can see it now in the playoffs. One of Minnesota's better adjustments, I believe, they made in this series was, not being happy with where they were after game two and making some adjustments with their lineup. And we've made some adjustments within the series. We'll continue to make some adjustments for tonight's game. And, there's no way that a lineup that you set back in January is going to be a lineup that carries you through a championship in this league. So the teams that are able to adjust and improve from those adjustments are the team that are going to be the most successful. So our group all along has always been willing and open to the adjustments. And, I think for the most part, have responded well. Not all adjustments you make and line changes you make are going to work, but you got to be willing. You got to trust your group that they'll respond from some of the adjustments that you make as a coach. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Matty Rooney has played very well. I thought Hensley was playing well previously. But I also think there's at times, like one of the things we say as a staff is we never want sort of the first couple shots in a game to be easy shots for a goaltender. So, and it's easier said than done. But if you're making some of your first attempts on net outside shots where goalies, getting their feet under them and they're getting comfortable and they're making easy saves, all that does is make a goalie confident, makes them feel bigger. So a little bit of it's on us that we got to make those first couple shots a little bit, maybe top of the blue paint, get in her feet a little bit, get her scrambling from below the goal line. And it kind of takes away a little bit of that confidence. So I think she's played really, really well. I think as a group, Minnesota has done a great job staying above us and forcing us to make some poor decisions in front of them instead of getting pucks in behind them. But then also there's a part for us where we got to be willing to give up possession to get a puck in better position at times. So it's a combination. I think you got to give credit to Minnesota, but there's some areas where we can improve to make things more difficult on them for sure. Yeah, we attempted to open it up actually in the last two games, just pushing out a little bit more from the breakouts. Um, like just trying to make some longer plays instead of the little 5-foot plays in the breakout. Trying to spread out. I mean, we often try to spread things out in the offensive zone. It's been one of the reasons why we've been successful in the past, but I think you can see it at any league at this level. When it comes playoffs, things just get tighter. Teams are prepared to do more than they maybe were willing to do in the playoffs. Everybody has more of a commitment to defense. and you got to do some things that are maybe a little bit more difficult to accomplish. Offense dries up a lot in the playoffs, and you just have to be willing to do some things, um, that are difficult. You got to go to the blue paint. You got to score some greasy goals. You got to work below the goal line. Open it up can give you little windows of opportunity. But overall, if you open up when teams are willing to play defense and willing to play physical, a lot of times that opening up will just result in some costly turnovers. So I think it's like anything, it's throughout the year, it's just a big combination of everything. At times, you got to shut things down defensively and try to generate your offense from turnovers and transition. And sometimes you got to be willing to open things up, and it's going any one way, I think would backfire. So it's more a combination and a mixture and trying to find ideal times to do so. Yeah, I think the message is obviously just to enjoy it. As much as we've talked about, this group of women and fighting for the opportunity to have a league such as the PWHL, it's not all about, just our fan base and creating a league so we can showcase our talents. A lot of the reason they fought for this is to have these exciting, meaningful opportunities, at a high performance level. So it's much like when I say we play at Scotiabank Arena or we play at the Bell Center to embrace it and enjoy it. I think the same thing goes for a game five. You have a one game showdown against a very good opponent for an opportunity to go to a championship. So those are moments that a lot of these women have not had that opportunity to take part in, and I think they need to embrace it and enjoy it as a group. So that's the first part, and then the second part, our travel. We got in late last night. To us, we met as a staff. We talked with some leaders, and just felt it was best to conserve our energy, so we're able to have a good start tonight. Well, if you figure that out, you should be coaching. I mean, that's the constant thing that you're striving towards is trying to get people to embrace the pressure, make the most of their opportunities, and play to their potential. The one thing that often, like a conversation that comes up, and a lot of times you just see it in movies, a player gets injured and everybody's got to add 5% more to their game. I honestly don't necessarily believe that narrative. I strongly believe that the players that we have in our group, they don't need to do more. They just need to bring what they're capable of bringing. You don't want to add the extra pressure on them that they got to bring more to make up for someone like Spooner's absence. They just, I had the conversation with like a Blair Turnbull, Renata Fast, some of our top players, or even the depth of our lineup. They just got to bring what they're capable of bringing and play with confidence. And if you add that together, we will be successful. So, yeah, if you ever figure out the exact recipe for that, you let me know. I find it exciting. I think I'm probably somewhere in between what the fans feel and what the athletes feel. I think it's just exciting to be, to have the opportunity to be part of such a game. I'm not a high emotional type of guy, so I generally can stay pretty even keel. I tend to read off the athletes and I think what their needs are. If they need me to be a little bit more emotional, a little bit more into it, then I try to provide that. But if I find they're getting a little bit too high in the opportunity or in the situation, then I try to bring them down a little bit and level them off as much as I can. So I try to read the situation and provide whatever I believe our team needs at that time. I think it's huge, and I think it's huge in a game like this. Both of them are capable of playing a strong defensive game. Both can play physical, and both can contribute offensively. And I think, to the other questions that came today, both of them have played in some, meaningful do or die situations, and more times than not have come out on the better side of it. So they will not fall to the pressure of it all. I think I would expect a great game from both of those athletes just because of the type of teammate they are, but because of the leaders they are as well.